Hiya, welcome. So about 2 months ago I did my last MiniDisc update video. I've done 2 so far, this is the 3rd. I'll link to the other 2 in the description. Let's get started and show you which MiniDiscs I've got this past couple of months. So the first MiniDisc I've got to show you is the one that I'm absolutely made up that I was able to get it. It's a Grail, as the Funko community would say, and hopefully there's some of my fellow Funko YouTubers who are watching this video right now. And it is Songs of Faith and Devotion by Depeche Mode. I can't tell you how happy I am to have finally got this. It wasn't cheap, but it was a lot less expensive than I thought it might be. From 1993 on Mute Records. Depeche Mode's last album featuring Alan Wilder. He left the band shortly after the Songs of Faith and Devotion tour had completed. It was quite a difficult period for Depeche Mode, with Dave Gahan's substance abuse problems and Alan Wilder leaving. But I'm really happy to have got this. It's a good album, not my favourite Depeche Mode album, but this is just something that I thought I'd never get, or if I did, I'd be paying a small fortune, and it was expensive, but the price that I actually got it for, I'm really happy. Songs of Faith and Devotion, and that means I only need Violator on MiniDisc, and that's my Depeche Mode collection on MD complete. Next couple is my Manic Street Preachers collection completed. I showed the 5 other Manics albums in the last MiniDisc video, and I needed 2 more, and here they are. First one is the Holy Bible, which was the Manics' 3rd album. Decent condition. The artwork's a bit weird, but there we are. Last album to feature Richie Edwards. Although, saying that, he did write, and I think even appeared on a couple of the tracks on Everything Must Go from '96, even though by that point he'd gone missing, and sadly he's presumed dead now. So, there we are. Holy Bible, Manic Street Preachers. Paid around 17 or 18 for that, which was quite a good thing because I expected this would be costing me over 30, so that was off eBay. And the other one that I needed is Know Your Enemy from 2001. This was the Manics' 7th album, and it's the last one that's come out on MD, so the Manics collection on MiniDisc is complete. Speaking of complete collections, I've completed my Spice Girls collection. Yes, indeed. It's guilty pleasure time again. Spice World by the Spice Girls, and I bought this and the next album I'm going to show you, which some of you might actually know what that's going to be. I bought these 2 off the same eBay seller. I think this was a good price really, because this is really rare, Spice World. I've seen it like twice in all the time I've been looking at MiniDisc on eBay, Discogs, Amazon, etc. And one of the times was when I was able to buy it. I think I made a best offer for this and the next MiniDisc. Condition is a bit shabby. I mean, I could replace these cases, but and maybe I will replace a couple of the really sort of battered ones. There's a theme with the Spice Girls MiniDiscs really. That Spice that I showed in my last video, the case was just really sort of scratched up and tatty. The MiniDiscs themselves are always fine. They play great. They're always in good condition. I'll just show this one. So, can't really complain. And the insert's in good nick as well. It's just the cases kind of break easy, which anyone who's collected a lot of CDs and cassettes over the years will know. All you have to do is basically sneeze on a CD case or a cassette case or an MD case and it'll break. And from the same seller on eBay, I made a best offer on Spice World and Forever. Quite appropriate really, given that the Spice Girls have got back together as a 4-piece, although replace Victoria there with Jerry, and that's the current lineup. I know their last reunion, which was quite some years ago now, it was a bit of a damp squib from what I know about it. Spice Girls collection complete. This is forever their third album, probably their least successful album. Still did well, I think. Still got to #1, and it had a couple of #1 singles from it. But the kind of glory years were well and truly over by this point. It's not a bad album, that. You can tell it's catered really towards an American market, and it's got that sort of American R&B sound. I think they worked with numerous US producers on this. Nice sticker on there. The record label is Virgin, as was the other Spice Girls albums. Happy to have got the Spice Girls collection complete. There's solo albums from Jerry Halliwell, Mel B, Mel C. I'd get them if they were dirt cheap, but I'm not what you'd call a fan. I don't know, I think the Spice Girls, there's some nostalgia there really. They just kind of remind me of a sort of happy period of my life. Mid-90s, you know, I was mid to late teens and becoming a young adult. Now, the rest of these are pretty much impulse purchases, kind of. One of them I wouldn't say is impulse, it's something that I decided to bid on and I luckily got it, but I'll get onto that in a minute. The Bangles here, Greatest Hits. This was, I think this originally came out on CD, tape, LP, blah blah blah, in I think 1990, will it say on, yes, 1990. And it's another one of those like the Stone Roses and Primal Scream mini discs that I've got, that it doesn't give a date for the actual publishing of the mini disc, but it will be at least 1992, because mini disc wasn't released to the public until 92. So Bangles, this was their greatest hits album that they released, I think just before or just after they'd split up for the first time. There's some great tracks on it. I think Bangles are quite an underrated band really. The spine of it reminds me a bit of an old style cassette really. It's sort of really understated. There they are, the Bangles. Have a quick look inside. Not a lot to see. That's a good album. Some of these I remember the prices and some I don't. Now then, I do remember the price of this. It was £20 exactly, although it cost me considerably less because I had some Amazon credit. I think I'd had about £15 or even a bit more of Amazon credit. So this really only cost me £5 in actual money, but for the sake of money exchanging hands, it was 20 from Amazon. Only the second mini disc from Amazon that I've got. Really nice condition. It was sealed actually. This was the third mini disc that I've bought, which was still factory sealed when it came. Jesus Jones, Doubt. Now these are a band of their time. This album came out in 91. There again, this takes me back to my last couple of years in primary school and listening to the Radio 1 Top 40 every Sunday, and yeah, it's not a bad album. Jesus Jones, kind of indie dance, would you say? I don't know, they were kind of riding a little bit on the coattails of the Manchester boom that had happened sort of 89, 90, where bands like the Stone Roses and Happy Mondays were doing really well, sort of fusing indie guitar music with dance and acid house, and I think Jesus Jones were kind of latecomers to that party, but it's a decent album and really nice condition mini disc. Nice sort of psychedelic design. Can't complain at all. Jesus Jones, Doubt. Now the next one, I won't say this was an impulse purchase, it's something that I wasn't desperate for, but I saw it and I thought, well, if it doesn't go to a stupid price, I'll bid on it on eBay. And I've somehow won the auction, and for a price that I think for this was a bargain. It is The Division Bell by Pink Floyd. Now Pink Floyd mini discs, they're kind of in the same category as Michael Jackson mini discs and Madonna ones and Depeche Mode ones, even, in the fact that for collectors they're just so much more money, they're so much pricier than a lot of the others. And I think most of Pink Floyd's catalogue, certainly from the 70s onwards, was out on MD, but they're just all so expensive. And this is a UK mini disc. Now, for the Division Bell, and I think probably for most of the other Pink Floyd catalogue as well, for some reason the American mini-discs, the US releases, which were on Columbia, I think, according to Discogs, they're still expensive, but they're easier to get, whereas this is the actual European version. You can look up some of these barcode numbers and catalogue numbers on Discogs to double check if you're really that way inclined. And the European version is really rare. It's never been sold on Discogs, and it's probably been sold occasionally on eBay, certainly at least once, because it was me who actually won this auction. And I won this, and I don't mind telling you the price. I can't remember the exact price, but including postage, it was under £40, which for something so rare, I think was an actual bargain. And it's a good album as well. My father's a big Pink Floyd fan. This is actually the first Pink Floyd album of any sort that I've ever owned. But I'm more than familiar with the band because growing up listening to my dad playing all his Pink Floyd records and tapes and etc. So Pink Floyd Division Bell, I saw it and I thought, well, I'm going to have a punt on that, and I did. And it's in really nice condition as well. Excellent condition, I'd say. Have a look at the disc itself. And the fact that it's an actual European release, not that it matters, I mean, I'd get any as long as it was official. And they're even rarer than the American releases, manufactured by Sony DADC Austria, which is, or was, one of their disc pressing plants. Their main one in Europe, I believe. So, really happy with that. And at the price I paid, I'm a happy camper. Last couple now. This one was Impulse. I got this actually from the same seller at the same time as Holy Bible by Manic Street Preachers. I decided to bid on it. He was an eBay seller selling a lot of different ones, and they're all fairly low starting prices. And there's a couple I missed out on, but the Manic's one, which I definitely wanted, that was the one that I was bidding highest on, I got. And Hurricane number 1, Only the Strongest Will Survive, I got as well, and I got this for just under 15, I think. And it's a decent album. Never had this album originally. I had the single, Only the Strongest Will Survive. It's a great single, that. Unfortunately, they put the remix of that on the album, which is weird. Normally you get the remix on the single and the normal version on the album, but for some reason Hurricane number 1 did it arse about face. But it's a good remix. I'm trying to think who did the remix. Uncle, possibly. Impulsive, not something that I was desperate for. It's in nice condition. It's a Creation one. Creation, of course, were the record label of Oasis and Primal Scream, to name a couple of artists that I have got on MiniDisc. So there we are. Last one to show you, and this is my not most recent purchase, but the most recent purchase that has actually arrived in the post, and this arrived just under a week ago. It's Supergrass with Supergrass. I think this was their third album, and it's the only one of theirs that's on MiniDisc. It's on the Parlophone label. This, I think, to Supergrass fans is known as the X-Ray album because of the X-Ray style photo on the front. There again, lovely condition. This wasn't expensive, including postage. This was under £10 from eBay. It's alright album, it's fine. It's something under £10. I'll take a punt on most things, really. I know my brother had the first album, I Should Coco, which is really the iconic Britpop era record. He had that on tape and he was quite fond of it. Although, now that I think about it, I only really remember him playing All Right, which I got pretty sick of All Right. Just heard it all the time in, what was it, 94, 95? Especially in my house, because my brother was always playing it and he had the tape, but didn't really hear much else off I Should Coco. But anyway, I digress. Supergrass with Supergrass, self-titled, third album, I think it was. It's pretty good. It's certainly worth the money I paid for it, which was under £10. Those were the 10 mini discs that I've got since my last update video. So, mini discs that I still really want for my collection. There's 4 that are in my Discogs wish list. There'll be others that I see from time to time on eBay and Discogs Marketplace and maybe even Amazon, that if they're at a good price or they're particularly rare, I'll have a punt, I'll make a bid or purchase, buy it now, whatever it is. But there's 4 that I really like for my collection, so they're in my Discogs wish list, so I should get notified if anyone on Discogs suddenly decides to sell one. And obviously I'll look out on eBay most days as well. So of course there's Depeche Mode Violator, which I've already mentioned. If I get this, then my entire Depeche Mode collection will be complete, because the albums that never came out on MiniDisc, I've got all of them except Violator on CD, and I've got some Depeche Mode DVDs as well. Violator is rare, but Songs of Faith and Devotion is maybe a little less rare in a way, but still just as pricey and highly valued, highly sought after. Another one I'd like is Kiss This by Sex Pistols. It's their greatest hits album, if you can call it greatest hits, because they only really had one studio album and some of their later singles were a bit ropey, but it's the only Sex Pistols album out on MD to the best of my knowledge, and it's got all the classics from Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols on it, and other bits, and I just really like Sex Pistols MiniDisc. It's as simple as that. I've never seen it on sale on eBay. I've not seen it on Discogs all the time I've been looking. Third one is Madness, Divine Madness. Now, I've already owned this album in the past. I had it on cassette back around 93, 94. Probably a year or two after it originally came out. Greatest hits album from Madness, really good greatest hits. I'd like this on MD, but like Sex Pistols, Kiss This, Divine Madness is rare. Not seen it on eBay, not seen it on Discogs Marketplace. So this one could be a bit of a grail, as could Violator and Kiss This. But I'd like this on MD, and if I see it, I'm certainly going to do my best to get it, money permitting and other constraints pending, obviously. And the fourth one on my Discogs want list is Labour of Love by UB40. Those of you who've seen my last couple of MD videos will know that I've almost completed the UB40 on MiniDisc collection, apart from this one, Labour of Love. I have seen it on Discogs not that long ago, and I just wasn't quick enough. It was quite expensive, I couldn't afford it at the time, and I don't know, if I'd sort of budgeted a bit differently or planned better, I may have been able to get it, but I dawdled too long, which is something I don't like to do when it comes to collecting stuff, and I missed out on it. So I'm hoping it'll come up again. It seems to be the rarest out of all the ones, although Labour of Love 2, which I did get a few months ago, is pretty rare as well. But Labour of Love, the original album from '83, and the MiniDisc would have been at least 9 years later, maybe more. And that's it for this collection update. Thank you very much for watching. I do videos about my music collection and how I collect and what I collect from time to time. Subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you want to. It's always appreciated. Follow me on Facebook at The Jimmy Barnes, and on Twitter at WWE Father Ted. So all that remains is for me to thank you once again for watching. There'll be another MiniDisc update video eventually, I guess, because I'm not going to stop collecting them. There's not as many that I want now, so these will happen with less frequency. But cheers anyway. See ya. Oh yeah, I'm back. As I thought it might, another MiniDisc in the post today. I'll try and keep this brief, as I know this video is going to be over the 20-minute mark. So let's do a quick opening of this. It's from Russia with love. It was packaged things well. Sellers on Discogs. Yeah, this is a Discogs purchase, by the way. €17 altogether. That included €7 postage, which translates to about £16.50. Oh, another jiffy envelope there. And that's it, look. Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill from 95. I had this on CD many years ago. Great album. Now I've got it on MiniDisc, so that's an 11th one to show you at this late stage while I was editing the video. But that's it. Thank you for watching again, and this time I really will. See you.